Hey folks, it's King from Stay Tuned Sports, and I gotta tell you, I love energy drinks. They help give me that boost that I need to finish all my work, get through game film recaps from all of Sunday's games, and they provide that pick-me-up during a very long week. What I don't love is that crash and the jitters, the gross feeling you get with most other energy drinks. And that's why I tried Dubby, and I gotta tell you, Dubby is a game changer with flavors like Dragonade, Beach and Peach, Galaxy Grenade, and my personal favorite, the Dub Sludge. You can find your favorite or just get them all. There's no jitters, there's no crash because there's no sugar in Dubby. Plus, Dubby contains Neurofactor, an all-natural ingredient derived from coffee cherries, which has been linked to enhance brain function. You go on over to dubby.gg right now. That's dubby.gg to grab the best energy drink you've ever had. And if you enter the code STSports18 in all caps, you'll get 10% off your order. That's STSports18 to get 10% off of Dubby. Be better.
And hello there, all you stay tuners. It might be the Eagles. I hate the Eagles. Don't get me wrong here. First quarter, keep it even. Second quarter, start running the fucking ball. Third quarter, take a power nap. Fourth quarter, oh shit, there's the rest of the game. Let's go.
Fuck it, I'm a diabetic. I will root for the team that will literally give me diabetes and death. Rooting for a team from Hershey is like a Catholic rooting for Satan. It doesn't make any sense.
This is Stay Tuned Sports, and it starts in 3, 2, 1.
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here and our good buddy King.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, pretty good. A little excited about this show. Trying something a little different.
Little testing show. Are we going to tell them, or are we going to kind of keep it on the download?
I think I'm confident that we will get this. I think we're like 90% there. Figured this out, so I'm confident in announcing this.
Okay, all right. I will give it to you. Take it away. What the fuck are we doing today, Jimbo?
Well, we are trying our first recorded show. I know we've.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
We have recorded many shows, Jimbo. We have recorded hundreds of shows. Here's the question I'm going to ask you: what is so different about this show that we are recording today? What is so different? There's a different element. There's a different just a little thing, a little difference to the show. What is that? That's the key. That's what we got to find out what we're doing.
Well, one, I forgot to take my Dubby, and two, you can actually see our faces. We're actually doing a video of the show now. I know we've said we want to do it back in March and February, but hey, life happens. But
finally,
we're here,
breaking into the 20th century.
And as we break in,
we're in the 21st. But.
Yeah, as we're finally getting into this video stuff, it's probably obsolete now, and they're on to something else.
We're here. And we're gonna make sure that we try to. My microphone is so screwed. I gotta get a new mic anyway. But I'm excited about this because I think it's something that we've had to do for a while anyway. Is getting into video, getting us on YouTube, having video production, having a video element to the program.
Yeah.
To put that out there, because let's face facts here, man. We need the world to see both of our handsome faces.
Oh yeah.
So clearly you going the Pat McAfee route with the tank top today, and me in my wonderful kind of mixed throwback and modern Tottenham Hotspur shirt. Come on, you Spurs! I know it's a soccer. You don't like soccer, but
only when America is whooping ass. But I don't.
Man, we are not whooping ass. Yeah. Women's World Cup. We are hanging on by a fucking thread. Just talk about they talked a bunch of shit.
Yep.
They have not backed it up yet. They're lucky They are lucky they have gotten that far. And now they're going to go against Sweden, who has been one of the better teams in the Women's World Cup. So let's go. Buck up, ladies. You ladies have talked a ton of shit. Time to back it up. Let's go.
But as far as these videos, too, I mean, obviously they're going to be on YouTube. We'll probably post them on Facebook, our Facebook page. I do have a Twitch account for the podcast. I'm not sure if I could actually upload videos to there, but that might be. I got to
see, because I don't have this was kind of a test show as far as it comes to the video element. So I don't know what's going to be out there right now, because I don't have anything recording on it right now. You listen, ladies and gentlemen, you don't know what we went through just to actually try to get a video connection here at first. So we're going to see what we can do as far as maybe putting out some video stuff about what's going on with today's show. But this obviously was a test show for this, to try to figure out how to set it up, how to work out some of the kinks, and go from there.
And let me interrupt you real quick, since this is a test, and we're learning on the fly here in a way. Did you hit record?
I don't have record. I don't have record. I don't have anything to record on.
So so we'll pick up the test.
I can try here. Let me see, because I can try to start OBS, and that might shut down my entire computer. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we could try to do that. I'm worried about.
You can actually have Zoom record it, and it sends it to.
I can't.
Okay.
Because I don't have the Zoom account. You do.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm poor as fuck. So if you have the ability to record on Zoom and have Zoom send everything to you, record the whole meeting, as it were, and send it to you, that's fine. Then we could do that and do all that. Oh, hey, wow, that actually did work. Look at that. I can start streaming, Man, if we wanted to.
Okay.
If we wanted to, I could actually just hit start streaming right now, and we can, on YouTube right now, doing a live show, which is now something else that I know that we can do here.
Yeah.
So now that I have OBS, man, I gotta fix this mic cable. How do you not hear that popping?
No, you sound fine.
Losing my mind, I swear. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this show, because it sounds bad. But I can go ahead. I'm gonna see if I can record a little bit of the show, and then you can record on that and see what happens. But it looks like what we can do.
Recording in progress.
Oh my God, that was loud. Did you hear that? Did that go over?
That was me clicking record.
You did that? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I thought it was me because. Got it. Okay. See, everybody here, learning curve. This is what this is. You are experiencing it with us in real time.
I was going to say, our fans are learning how smart we are when it comes to computers, but we are very smart when it comes to sports.
We are. That's very fucking debatable.
I don't know if you saw the poll that came out of who's the smartest NFL fans, who's the dumbest
I want to know
fans.
where that was. I want to know where that was done.
It had to be like Harvard or Princeton.
No, clearly not. It had to be somewhere in the Philadelphia area. Clearly, it had to be somewhere in the Philadelphia area, because that was bullshit. Just going to put that out there. Bullshit.
Okay, so I will have to step out of the camera real quick and figure out why my computer is not charging right now. Hold on. Be right back.
Oh, see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're talking about when we do this. We're learning on the fly. We're learning with you and how to do this stuff, because at the end of the day, like, I'm poor. So me trying to go ahead and get stuff together to do this, I have a computer that's over 10 years old, so I can't really do recording from there. Trying to find a way to record the Zoom video from my phone camera while doing the audio through the computer Zoom And there's there's a little bit of a delay that you can see. Like, it's all trying to figure all this stuff out. It's really fun, and you get to come along with us on this journey as we go ahead and try to learn how to actually do a video podcast.
I do want to say something real quick since we're talking about computers and electronics. I hate these new computer chargers, or laptop, I guess you would call it, where it's a two-piece thing. The plug wasn't. It's a big pack that goes into another wire that hooks up to the laptop, and the other end that plugs into this pack is what goes to the outlet. Well, if you don't have the outlet part of it plugged all the way in, it's not charging. That's what happened.
Okay, but those are common. Those aren't new. Those have been around.
Why can't they just do one single wire?
I don't know. I think it has something to do with, like, because that big, because it's got that big block on it, right?
Yeah.
And that's like some kind of amperage controller or some again, not smart. I don't fucking know what we're talking about here. I'm not Mr. Technology guy, never have been. Man, my titties look fucking terrible on this camera. I cannot wait for fall so I can wear my hoodies and nobody can see my big fat man titties.
Neither can I.
On video.
Because I can't wait for my pumpkin spice beer during Notre Dame football games.
Oh, God. Now, I say, and meanwhile, I sit here and drink pumpkin spice coffee, but pumpkin spice beer tastes like ass. I will put that out there immediately. Pumpkin spice and cold doesn't go together. And I think that's the key. I think that's the thing, is that having the pumpkin spice cold, whether it's in an iced coffee or in a beer or in something like that, like, it's like, it tastes like shit. But if you have like a pumpkin spice cider or pumpkin spice hot coffee, which I love, or something like that, then now we're talking, like, because now it's almost like a hot pumpkin pie. That's what it reminds me of. If you have it cold, it tastes like you're eating a pumpkin's asshole, and that's not that doesn't remind me of fall. That's not one of my fall memories. Not big fan. You've been trying to get me on that pumpkin beer shit for almost 10 years now. And that's still not work, but.
So how about we talk some sports?
How about we finally get into some sports outside of all this technology bullshit? How about we actually talk what the show's fucking about, which is sports here. Stay tuned, sports. Stay tuned for the sports after the technology bullshit.
Yeah. I do want to talk to you and get your opinion about the whole Johnathan Taylor, is it? From the Colts, the running back, and Jim Irsay, that whole spat that's going on.
It's a couple things. One, I don't think what Jim Irsay said was that bad, as far as like how some people are portraying it. Some people are portraying it as like, oh, it's a straight up diss towards Johnathan Taylor and all that. No, I think what he said, pardon me for the burp, I think what he said, he answered the question about what is the reality of the NFL right now. And that's the truth of it. That's the case. Now that's another thing with Jim Irsay, is that he does have a habit of putting his foot in his mouth.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's what I don't see what he said as factually incorrect. Now, overall, should he have said it? Probably not. Probably not the best idea to do that. But he did, and here we are. So what do you do with that? Johnathan Taylor has this, and this is the key, and this is the thing that I learned not too long after that, is Johnathan Taylor recently got a new agent.
Yeah.
And apparently before he got the new agent, he was in the Colts. He was like at OTAs. He was with everybody, smiling, friendly with all the players. Like everything was a good, jovial atmosphere. He was in a good mood. Everybody else was like, everybody knew what was going on. Everything was great. He got the new agent, and apparently that's when things started changing with him about wanting to get a new contract and wanting to get, my fair share, and wanting to do all that kind of stuff and everything like that, and pushed him towards kind of having this adversarial relationship with the Colts and with Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay.
Yeah.
And so that was it. And so then somebody, obviously the reporters asked him the question. Jim Irsay says what he says. Then they have a meeting between Irsay and Johnathan Taylor, and then Taylor comes out and says, "Well, all right, well, I want to be traded." And the Colts said, "No." Like, what are you going to do? No. Like, like, here's the thing. This is the CBA. This is what you guys have negotiated. With the way everything is, you don't have any leverage. There's no leverage for you. You have nothing to say. This is not the NBA where you could just say, "Okay, well, I want to be traded." Okay, well, I want $10 billion and a hot blonde to sit on my face. Not going to happen. You can wish in one hand, shit in the other, see which one fills up first.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to hold out. Okay, well, then we don't pay you. And then guess what? If you don't play the certain percentage of games, then your contract just rolls over to the next year.
Yeah.
So, and that's the same thing with the franchise guys where everybody's like, well, Josh Jacobs out there in Vegas, where he's trying to hold out, and he'll just be like, "I'm not signing the franchise tender. I'm just going to hold out." That's fine. He can sit there and he can hold out, but then it rolls over to next year, and he's going to still have the franchise tag on him.
Yeah.
So what do you, there's no, what are you doing? Saquon had the smartest resolution to these kind of issues. Was it great? No, but he made the absolute best out of a bad situation from his point of view.
Yeah.
As far as being able to, he basically got what the franchise tag contract was going to be. Plus he got a couple of incentives thrown on top of it. And plus he got the $2 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
So, is it great? Is it, something that he wanted or that his agent wanted or people around him wanted? No. But did it take what was a pretty shitty situation and making the best of it? Yes. And then we'll see what happens next year. We'll see what he does, and we'll see if the Giants have any are willing to go ahead and work with them. If they work something out during this season, who knows? Who knows what happens? But from that standpoint, it's this is how it is right now with the NFL and the running backs and this current CBA that the players union agreed to.
Yeah.
If you want to change it, wait until the CBA expires and then try to work in some things like we talked last week about, things that, you could do for the running backs, either getting them a shorter rookie contract timetable, or as I've heard on a couple other sports shows out there, have running backs be able to come out a year earlier than anybody else. Instead of having to wait until their junior year to come out, they can come out in their sophomore year.
Yeah.
So that, again, it's a little less time and they're able to go ahead and cash in on the fact that, and I understand it. There's a lot of legitimate complaints coming from the running back position of it's really the only position where if you do well, you get punished for it.
Yeah.
And you rush for 1,800 yards, 2,000 yards, and it's, okay, well, where's my payday? And it's like, yeah, but you got a lot of wear and tear on you. So you got 2,000 yards on you. You got 1,800 yards on that body. So we're going to go ahead and just franchise tag you and pay you that. And then you have another great season. Oh, you tore your ACL. That sucks. Well, we're going to cut you now, and that's the thing. Like, look at Ezekiel Elliott 2 years ago, 3 years ago. People are talking about how he got that huge contract from the Cowboys and he was the best running back in the league and everybody loves Zeke Elliott and all this other stuff. Now he is still unemployed.
Yeah.
I know he's talking with New England, but he's still, as of this recording, he's not signed anywhere. Dalvin Cook still not signed anywhere. I know he's talked to the Jets. I believe he's trying to get to the Dolphins. If what I'm hearing is correct.
Okay.
Same deal. Like you have somebody here who is considered to be a top flight NFL running back, and he hasn't been picked up yet.
Yeah.
And that is just the state of the NFL running back right now. And not only that, but the running back position has been devalued so much by the fact that the NFL has become a pass first league, pass happy league. Receivers and tight ends. I mean, receivers were always divas and they always kind of got their money anyway. But tight ends recently have taken that spot, I think, from the running back of being that second, like, skill position that is, like the second highest paid skill position behind wide receivers. Obviously, quarterbacks are in a fucking league of their own.
Yeah.
But with seeing how the rise of the tight end, somebody's price went up, somebody's price was going to have to go down, and that was the running back. And there's a lot of teams out there that don't have a good running game or don't focus on the run and focus strictly on the pass and are a pass first league. Again, it's a pass first league and all that stuff. So, and like I said last week, I think that'll change eventually. I think the NFL is very cyclical. It will go around to where somebody's going to get a big, giant bruising back, like a Derrick Henry again. Like Derrick Henry still runs over everybody, because nobody has a defense that's really set up to stop a Derrick Henry. Like, you don't see defensive linemen like Gilbert Brown anymore. Like 370-pound men that can run like a 4.5.
Yeah.
But that guy was a beast. Nobody, anybody out there enough who's our age who remembers Gilbert Brown with the Packers. I mean, that guy was.
You got to watch some Packers games with John Madden, call him Big Gilbert Brown.
I love that after his sacks, he do the Undertaker Gravedigger celebration. That was cool. But like, you don't have guys like that anymore. So you get a guy like Derrick Henry. There's a reason why Derrick Henry's had like 2,000 yards, 1,800 yards in the last couple of seasons, because nobody can say he can run over everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's got the speed to boot. So he's big, huge, jack. You start getting a couple of more guys like him in the backfield, then you're going to have a couple more teams focus on, let's bulk up the defensive line again. Let's do it. Because right now, most defensive lines they look like linebackers instead of being defensive linemen. So, and it's that and focused on edge rushers. So, I think that'll come around again. But for now, it's running backs time in the bottom of the barrel as far as the skill positions go, and it sucks. And I feel sorry for them. But again, this is also the deal that they've negotiated. This is what the players' union has done.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know what else you want from that,
And this CBA that they recently negotiated, that was with Smith as the union head guy. Demaris Smith, I think his name was.
Was that Demaris Smith?
Yeah.
Because he's not the head now, right?
No.
Isn't it?
Yeah, he got fired from it, but I think he negotiated this one, and then like a year later was released from his duties, and now they got somebody else to.
I forget who it is, who's the head of the union now, but if because when was the last one done?
I was just thinking we probably only have another year or two before this current one's up. I
have no idea, because I remember the one that they had the lockout.
Yeah.
But that was back in 2011, 2010, 2011. I was still married.
Well, so it was before 2012, because me and you became friends.
That's when, yeah. So I think it was the 2011 season.
It's got to be getting close.
So with that, but I don't know if that deal ran through, and they did another one recently where there wasn't a strike or a lockout, and they kind of got it. I think that did happen.
Yeah.
So I think we have a while ago. Here, we have a computer. We can take a look. We can just go ahead.
I'm pretty sure our fans are like, oh crap, here comes the computers again.
Yeah, I know this thing's going to be like. Let's take a look and see what we got. NFL CBA, so you can see. I see with the video now. Everybody can see us looking at this live. Well, not live, but you can see our video recorded.
Yeah.
All right, waiting for my computer not to just absolutely have a seizure. Okay, the current active agreement was ratified in 2020.
Okay.
So it did. It was about a 10-year or 9-year CBA, and it extends through the 2030 season.
Oh, so we're not even halfway through it.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, so the
Oh, yeah.
CBA. So the running backs are
Screwed.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say about that except you are flubberducked. You are. I mean, that's just. But there's nothing we can say about it. You can't argue it. It's what you agreed to.
Yeah. So that
It's
makes
what
me
the
wonder.
player-
That makes me wonder now. Are we going to start seeing running backs retire earlier than normal that we see now? Like, do they come in?
We see that a little bit already, I think. So I don't know if we'll see that. I wonder because there's also been talk about running backs doing like a separate running backs union
Okay.
adjacent to the NFLPA, which good fucking luck with that.
Yeah, I don't know how you would pull that off.
But like I don't, or if they'll do like basically or like a running back strike where just all the running backs agree to strike and not play and sit out and do all that.
Yeah.
And we can see that and you know you'd have to see if there's any scabs or not. You know, have a replacement situation. But I want like it makes me wonder if that's going to be like the next step because that's it. We're talking about you have this season, you have the 2024 season, 2025 season, 2026 season, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030. 2030. So you have quite a bit of years left on this. And if they're already complaining now
Yeah.
about what's going on and how things are in 6 years, it's not going to be any better.
Yeah.
It's not going to be any better. So,
And they
Yeah.
really don't start negotiating the new one until there's at least 2 years left because it takes them about 2 years to come close to an agreement.
right. And so then you're also, I guarantee you that's obviously going to be a big part of whatever the next CBA is.
Yeah.
Is the running back. But then here's the question too. That's such a long time that like when I was talking about how the NFL is cyclical and you might have like in that time, running backs might come back into favor in that time.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, well, running backs are getting their payday and maybe it's tight ends that are down again or so, you know, like it'll be something else. Like who knows what happens between now and then. As far as the NFL, as style of the game, any of that,
Yeah.
you know. So that's interesting. But back to like the original part of the question. I don't find anything that Jim Irsay said to be wrong. But Jim Irsay does need to not talk as much.
Yeah.
I think that's been clear for a while.
And that's something else I was thinking about. You know, obviously with Dan Snyder gone, he's very disgusting and everything like that. Irsay, I mean, it's going to be very hard to get him out of there because there's no controversy going on with him. But I think he's another owner that needs to either just sit behind a door or get the hell out of it.
See it. I mean, but here's the thing: like to people trying to say that, oh, we got to get rid of Irsay next because he's not like Daniel Snyder.
No, he's not.
Not like Daniel Snyder. Daniel Snyder might be the most disgusting, horrible, worst owner in the history of sports. I know people were trying to say it might have been what's his face, the racist one from the Clippers, who was talking to his girlfriend and said, I don't mind them, just I don't want to see you out there around them on court side. Of course, he didn't say them.
Okay,
in
yeah.
other words,
Yeah.
several times.
Can't say that.
Don't say that. That's inappropriate.
'Cause I don't have a beep button yet. I don't know where that would be.
Nope. So, I mean, he was pretty bad, you know, and you go back in history with like George Preston Marshall, who was also owner of the Redskins, who was the last owner to integrate his team. I think it was in the mid 60s. And he was forced to by the NFL to where he didn't want to. He was a big fan of segregation.
Okay.
Again, pretty big piece of shit owner. But Daniel Snyder is right up there with him. Like he is with everything that happened. Like it was the fact that of all the sexual harassment stuff that was in the workplace and the inappropriate stuff in the workplace and the general bad atmosphere and just kind of having the workplace fatigue, basically almost having to go to work there. And, all the stuff that happened with a lot of bad sexual stuff happened there in DC over these last couple of years. And then all the other stuff about him keeping money off the books from the NFL, like putting down game day revenue as concert revenue or something else so that he didn't have to give it up to the revenue sharing pool that the NFL has. So he got to keep that money. Like he kept the money from the NFL. He had all these other issues, all these other corruption charges and bribery and harassment and sexual harassment and like all of these things on top of just stuff compounded and compounded and compounded over years. And then on top of that, he didn't fucking win.
Yeah.
The Redskins have been one of the fucking worst franchises in the last 25 years. They have been absolutely atrocious. And so, you don't even get that. It's like, oh, he's a pretty shitty guy and a shitty owner, but hey, at least we're winning games. They didn't have that.
Yeah. I
look at Jim Irsay. I don't see that. I see Jim Irsay as he's a little aloof. He's a little he speaks when he shouldn't. Clearly he loves to party. Yes. Loves his drugs and his drinks, and you can tell the toll that it's taken on him every time we hear him speak. He loves his music and his band. He's got his band and cover band that he goes around with. Right, yeah. Has all the festivals, and he has all those famous guitars and shit, and he does a lot of collections. I think he says he's got one of Elton John's pianos or Liberace's pianos, one of the things. I don't know. So like he's got that. Like he's an eccentric motherfucker. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But for people to sit there and say like, oh, he's on the level of Daniel Snyder, not a fucking chance. Not even close. Is he close to Daniel Snyder? Oh, don't you remember when he got caught in the car with like $250,000 in a bag of cocaine? I was like, yeah. If I was a billionaire, you probably would find $250,000 on me and a bag of cocaine, and probably some hookers with me as well. I'm sorry. Let's face facts. That's just what it is. And that's it. With being a billionaire, they wouldn't be hookers. Okay. It would be top flight escorts.
Oh.
Top flight. You know what I'm saying? Full testing, making sure there's no diseases, all that kind of good stuff. No smoking meth. You can't have any meth. Cocaine, fine. Meth, that's a no. You gotta have all your teeth. Unlike me. I don't get that argument of saying that Jim Irsay is even close to the level.
As far as both of them, Johnathan Taylor and Irsay, and with the news somewhat coming out that Kamara is going to be suspended.
Try that again.
Yeah, Kamara being suspended. Not sure yet how long. Do you think the Saints make a trade for him? Or do you think it'll be dependent on
who's going to trade him? Who's going to trade for him? Who would trade him? Who would want to take that on? As the running back market it is, when there's Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook still out there, there's no market for that.
Yeah.
If anything, they might try to pick up, depending on what his contract situation is, and I don't know what Kamara's contract, if they can release him and not have to guarantee him any money. If they release him and pick up Zeke or Dalvin, like just offer them a bit of a contract to come in and fill in for that, or if the Saints will just hold on to him, and depends. Like if it's a four game suspension or something like that, or 6. See, here's the thing: is I think it depends on how the commissioner or how the independent investigator, whoever the NFL has, looks at it. and said, was it a self-defense situation? Was it something that he could have avoided? Was it something that was started by him? Was it instigated by him? Any number of these things.
Yeah.
You have to see what the situation was. That's for them to come up with. We haven't gotten that yet. But if this is what we're hearing from Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter and some of the NFL insiders, that he is going to be suspended. Now it's just a case of how long. And I don't know if, oh, bless me, you saw all that. I don't know if it's, I don't know if the NFL has a minimum for this. Like, I remember after the Ray Rice thing, I think they codified it with saying anything like that was going to be like a minimum 6 games.
Probably the closest, like the last incident that running back got suspended was Kareem Hunt when I think he was still with Kansas City when he got suspended for the whole kicking the female.
Yes, we saw that. Yes, everybody saw that, and he left and he went and he signed with Cleveland.
And I think he only got like 3 or 4 games.
I can't remember, and that's what I mean. So you'd have to go ahead and look that up to see how many games that was. But so I don't know. But if I was to guess, I would say it's probably somewhere between 4 to 6. That Kamara's gone. Can you last that long without him? Do you want to last that long without him? Do you try to sign somebody in the interim and then release them halfway through the season? I think with that news coming down, if I'm New Orleans, I kick the tires. I kick the tires on Zeke and see, if we can, what we can get him for, how much is going to cost us to get Zeke, and what the situation is with Alvin, and see if it's a case of, can you get out of it? Can you get rid of him? Can you get like Zeke cheap enough to where after 6 weeks you can just cut him and let him go and not worry about it?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of factors in there to see, but I think what you might have to wait for to see is when the suspension comes down, see what the Saints are going to do.
I will say also, Philly fans, we are not carrying 6 running backs. When the whole Johnathan Taylor Irsay thing started up, there was multiple fans saying trade for Taylor and bring Zeke in, on top of already having DeAndre Swift, Brashard Penny,
listen. If you guys want to get rid of Boston Scott, by all means, you can fucking do so.
I say if we were to get rid of him, just ask in the trade as a stipulation, we only want him back for 2 games.
No. No. That's what this isn't soccer where you get to lend somebody out and then they get to come back. Fuck that.
But when I saw that, I'm like, Johnathan Taylor, maybe I could see us, him fitting in, but Zeke is just, I think Zeke's done. I don't think that Zeke that we saw 3-4 years ago, I think that was his top of the hill. He hit his moment.
And again, this goes to what everybody's been talking about with the running backs is, Zeke got that big contract, and what has he done since? And I think that makes a lot of people in the NFL, GMs, owners, everybody give pause to that.
Yeah.
And people talked about, and I was getting a bit frustrated with some of the Giants fans around here who just say, just pay Saquon. He's the best guy on the team. He's the best guy on the team. And it's like, he was good last year. Do not get me wrong. Saquon was an absolute integral part of the Giants season last year, clearly. But he also missed all of the season before that, the 2021 season, and was hurt in 2020. So this is going to be his 5th year. Of his 4 previous years, he had his rookie season, great year. His sophomore season, hurt. His junior season, hurt. and then here in his fourth season, again did well.
Yeah.
So he when he's healthy and on the field, fantastic. But can you guarantee that he's going to be on the field?
Yeah.
So far, you're talking about he's a 50-50 as far as an injury liability. And as I've said on this show many times last year and many times before, and as I'll continue to say, the best ability that any player can have is availability. And if you're constantly injured, you're not going to find yourself with a steady job in the NFL, unless your name is Jimmy Garoppolo, apparently, because he is continually injured, and still the 49ers let him go for a while, and then he got injured again last year, and he finds himself now with the Raiders.
Yeah.
But again, the same argument can be made with Jimmy Garoppolo is that I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a very talented quarterback. I think he's, when he's on the field, he is a top flight NFL quarterback. It's just that he's never on the field consistently, and he's always injured. He has an injury bug with him, and some people are just like that, and that's not diminishing them. But that's saying, like, you can't invest the money that these teams and owners are investing in these players if you're not going to be on the field.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end of the day, you have to be reliable. So when it comes to something like Saquon, like all the people out there saying, "Oh, just pay him, would be the same people if Saquon got hurt in week 3 would be like, "Oh man, we shouldn't have given him such a big contract. Oh man, we got to eat that now. Oh, that's so like that." Those are those assholes.
Yeah.
So like I understand both points here. Like I understand Saquon wanting to get paid because it is a rough position. It is an injury-prone position, and he has been shown to be injured, and he wants to make as much money as he can in the limited time that he has playing in the NFL. I get that, but I also get it from the general manager's position and the owner's position of it's hard to put that kind of investment into a player that we don't know if they're going to be available to play, because they have a history of being injured.
Yeah.
And a lot of people's careers have been cut short by injuries. And a lot of talented people have unfortunately not been able to finish their careers. And I often think of Sterling Sharp, one of just a fantastic player, a Hall of Fame player, really. And is he in the Hall of Fame? I thought he got in on one of the senior votes.
I think I think the senior votes he got in.
The year before, one of them.
Yeah.
And clearly deserved. If anybody remembers him playing, I mean, he had to be as old as us to remember that. But like Sterling Sharp was amazing and could have been a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer if he didn't have injury problems. And I think it was his neck. He ended up having injury problems with his neck. He had to retire.
Yeah.
And that sucks, and again, that's not to diminish the talent that he had, because clearly he was talented enough, even in a short amount of time, to get into the Hall of Fame. And again, deservedly so. And there's a lot of players out there that have immense talent like that. But if you can't stay healthy, you can't play the game.
Yeah.
And that is the cruel mistress of the NFL.
Yeah.
You have to be able to be healthy and play. So, and that's the thing. And that's why it's so rare to find those super great players, because not only do you have to be great and have that level of talent, but you also have to stay healthy, and you also have to be able to withstand injuries and play through injuries at times to be able to go ahead and do that. And that's what I mean. There are great players that you can see that do that, and there are great players that unfortunately can't. We'll see which one Saquon is coming up. And I feel bad because I think after this, let's say Saquon hypothetically has a great season this year, I think we're still going to be in the same boat next year, because they're going to say, okay, you did well, but now you have X amount of yards on your body still, more so than last year.
Yeah.
So that's another wear and tear or do anything like that. And that's it. Even if the Giants don't sign him, who else, what other team out there is going to go ahead and put that money out for him? And again, the answer is not a lot of them, because that's just how the running backs are viewed now. So it is what it is, I think, at this point, as we keep on going back.
Since we're kind of talking about injuries and kind of talking about contract, hand in hand there with those two, do you think the Bengals kind of take a little step back now with Joe Burrow getting hurt with the calf strain?
Injury at a pretty bad time. Right after, because that was it. Herbert got his contract.
Yeah.
And you figured, okay, now it's time for Joe. I mean, that was, I think, that's what I had mentioned on the show last week. And then it was funny because as soon as we finished the show, literally an hour after we finished recording, they came out with the fucking Herbert news. And I was like, God damn it. That would have been perfect for the point I was making. But that was it. So Herbert got his contract, and it was like, all right, here comes Joe. It's time for Joe to get his. And what ended up happening was that he ended up getting a calf injury. So now...
And it's not like he's out for 1 week. He's out for multiple weeks.
He's out for a couple of weeks. I think he'll be ready for the start of the season.
Yeah.
And he's going to get paid.
Oh, yeah.
He is. He's not, like, this is really not going to do anything like we're talking about. Like, this is not going to make Paul Brown go, or Mike Brown, whoever the fuck, Paul Brown's dead. But it's not going to make Mike Brown go like, I don't know. Maybe we'll wait to go ahead and give him his contract, because all you're going to do then is add more dollars onto that.
Yeah.
Because especially if he comes back and has a great fucking year, which he's Joe Burrow, and he's arguably the best quarterback in the league between him and Mahomes. I think those are your top two right there. And you can interchange them if you want. A lot of people would still say Mahomes, but I think there's plenty of people out there that say Joe Burrow. So I don't think that's quite the same as we're talking about here with the running backs, or really with any other position or with any other player, because you're talking about somebody who, yes, his rookie year he got injured, and here he got a little calf strain or pull or whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Yeah.
But after that first year injury, all he did was take his team to the fucking Super Bowl, and then take his team to the AFC Championship game, in which a lot of people think they should have won and thought the NFL was rigged because of, all the other stuff that they did.
Yeah.
And thought that they should have been in the Super Bowl again. All right. So you have a Bengals team now that revolves around this guy. They go where he goes. Without him, you're back to being the Bungles. There's no way. Listen, you want to know how important it was for the Bengals to make sure that they had enough money to pay this guy? The Bengals finally relented and fucking put a stadium sponsor on their fucking stadium. They knew they needed money.
Yeah.
They needed to have that cash ready to go to pay for him. And so what did they do? They all of a sudden, this is Paul Brown Stadium. This is Paul Brown Stadium. We're never going to, this is my father. I'm never going to take this name off the stadium. Oh, we have to pay Joe Burrow. Fuck. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paycor Stadium. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it is. So that's I understand where your thought processes was in the conversation that we were having. I don't think like that's not gonna make Mike Brown go like, I don't know, maybe we'll hold off on that. That's not gonna do that.
Yeah, I still think the long-term deal is going to work out, but I wonder if some of the money will go from guaranteed money turn into incentives, like you gotta play 16 games, to get that $2 million.
Nope.
No?
Nope. Because here's the thing: you start trying to play funny business with this guy's fucking contract, that agent's going to be like, cute, okay, we'll see you in free agency.
Yeah.
Like that's not gonna, like, they are not gonna do that. They are not gonna. You don't want to fuck around with the guy who is your franchise. And bottom line is, Joe Burrow is your franchise. That man brought you to a Super Bowl when your fucking offensive line was one ply Charmin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Like they
remember that
were fucking thin and terrible, and he got his ass kicked all season after the previous season being injured by a shitty offensive line, and he still brought your ass to the Super Bowl. And then last year, the offensive line still not much better. Joe Burrow got injured in that first game against Pittsburgh, I think, didn't he?
Yeah. Because
Was he injured in that too? Because I know T.J. Watt got injured in that game too, but I think Burrow got hurt in that
Yeah.
first game as well. And everybody was like, "Oh boy, here we go again!" But he ended up coming back. But again, their offensive line was not much improved from the previous two seasons. And what did they do? Brought them to the AFC Championship game, where a lot of people say they arguably should have won that game. So you cannot fuck around with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
And his contract. So this idea of, like you were trying to say, like, oh, well, maybe they'll try to move some money and have it into incentives instead of guarantees or other stuff like that. That's not going to happen. They did not finally put a sponsor on that stadium to then fuck around with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
As cheap as Mike Brown and the Bengals have historically been, they know they have a fucking bank with them in Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So, you know, the old adage, you got to spend money to make money. They're going to spend money on Joe Burrow, and they are going to roll in that fucking money because that's it. Paycor Stadium, as it is now, is going to be sold out every fucking week as long as that man is your quarterback.
That's
Bottom
true.
line.
Any other NFL news?
Well, we got the Hall of Fame game coming up. Actually seeing people in NFL uniforms, whether or not they're NFL players, completely different question. But so we're going to see the New York Metropolitans there against the Cleveland Browns.
I will say, you know, with all the throwback jerseys coming out, being revealed, the Ravens really missed their spot. They should have did their throwback jerseys from the 80s. They should have been the Cleveland Brown throwback jerseys.
You know, but here's the thing. I don't want to be this guy.
You agree with me?
But actually, technically, if you want to look in the NFL record books, the Baltimore Ravens are a completely different and new franchise from the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. Even though, who was it? Art Modell?
Art Modell,
Yeah.
he moved them, and the NFL said, okay, because the Browns are the Browns and have such a long and storied history, what we're going to do is basically we're going to have the Browns go on a hiatus. Where was it? 2 years, 3 years?
Something like that.
And the franchise that moved to Baltimore took all the Browns players, but all the records and all the history and all that was left in Cleveland. And so the Baltimore Ravens was a new one. Here's another thing too. When Modell moved them to Baltimore, he talked to Irsay to try to swap names. He wanted the Colts name back in Baltimore. He wanted it to be
ballsy. I didn't know that.
And Irsay said, no, because that's back in the day, Irsay's father used to own the LA Rams.
Yeah.
And Rosenblum owned the Colts. And those two swapped franchises. And then Irsay became the owner of the Colts. Rosenblum became the owner of the Rams. And then Irsay in 83, Jim Irsay's father, again, in the middle of the night, packed up the Mayflower moving trucks and moved them to Indianapolis. Still one of the most infamous franchise movings of all time.
Yeah.
The story is from there. So they were hoping to see if they could do a franchise name swap, and it turned out not to take place, which I think would have been fun. I would have liked to have seen the Baltimore Colts again.
Yeah.
As the true team, but it is what it is. And now the Ravens have built their own legacy. So now you can't even really, you can't really say, oh, we should change it. And, oh, I'd want to see that. You can't do that. Not unlike, but we have seen that happen before.
Okay.
Like we saw that with the Hornets, because the Hornets were in New Orleans, and then the Charlotte Bobcats came in when they replaced the Hornets, who moved from Charlotte to New Orleans. And then after a couple of years of doing anything like that, they swapped names. They got the names back, and then New Orleans went with Pelicans, but Charlotte changed their name from the Bobcats back to the Hornets and brought the Hornets back. So it's not unheard of to have a franchise just swap names.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. But I don't know. I like some of the new ones that came out. The Jets uniforms look great.
Jets are okay.
The Buccaneers look great with Bucko Bruce and the creamsicles. I love those.
Yeah.
The Seahawks need to make that permanent fucking yesterday.
I do like theirs.
I'm fine with putting the modern Seahawk on those uniforms, on those silver helmets. Do that, and you're done. It's finished. Done. Just go get those same colors, same everything like that. You could just do the modern Seahawk logo. Yeah. Put that on that. Fuck it. You're done. You don't have to worry about anything.
What about Philly bringing back the Kelly Green as permanent?
Love it. I love it. Here's the thing. I think they should bring Kelly Green back permanently. Oh, sorry. Kicked my camera. I don't think they should make those particular uniforms permanent, but if they need to bring the Kelly Green back and get rid of that dark teal bullshit. They need to be green. It's dark teal. Look it up. It's actually... Which is, again, that's not what it should be. It should be green. It should be Philly. It should be green. So I would like to see them go back to the Kelly Green. And, if they do it, just the current uniforms, just with the Kelly Green, or if they come up with new uniforms and a new wing logo or whatever, fine. But I think the Kelly Green needs to come back permanently for Philly, because it just fits. It just fits better. And that whole 90s trend of the darker, brooding colors. Oh, it's so dark. It's the moody decade. Everything is so... Look at it. Everything was teal and also dark. Oh, we have the San Jose Sharks. It's teal and bright. Everybody did teal. The Florida Marlins, the San Jose Sharks. And then the Eagles are like, we'll do teal, but we're going to make it dark because we're from Philly. It's so dark in Philly. Ugh. We're so mean. We're going to go do teal, but it's going to be dark. Ugh.
I don't think Jeffrey Lurie sounds like that.
That's what everybody from Philly sounds like. Just like a bad American Dracula. Yeah. I think the uniforms are dated. I do. I think they're very 90s looking uniforms. And as unique as maybe those new Eagle wings were back in the mid 90s, 95, I think is when you guys changed.
Yeah.
They don't look good to me now. I never really liked having it with the silver and white, the big black outline and a bigger white outline and all that kind of stuff. I think if they went back to something more akin to the silver, just do a silver wing, maybe again, modernize it, make sure that it comes from the sweat bumper in the front. So it's not cut right like that. Kind of like how the Seahawks have with the Seahawk now goes in the back and connects in the back and looks better. Do something like that, and go back with a nice Kelly Green, and do just like a nice modern yet modern uniform, yet it looks like a football uniform.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of uniforms now. Like you look at what Arizona did, and they were so close. Arizona was so close to getting it right, and they didn't. They missed, just missed. If I think Philadelphia would be able to do that, and there is a significant groundswell in Philadelphia for the Kelly Greens. There is, which is surprising because you guys won a Super Bowl in the teals, but people love that Kelly Green, and rightfully so. I think those Kelly Greens are beautiful uniforms. I hate the Eagles.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful looking uniforms.
I mean, they were out there at 3:30 in the morning, Monday morning, tailgating, waiting for the shops to.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's like that. There's that level of love for those Kelly green uniforms in Philly. So I would love to see that. Not those throwbacks particularly. Like I said, I'm not a fan of just throw the throwback unless you're the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Unless you're the Seahawks, go ahead, get those back. And maybe the Vikings too. The Vikings throwbacks look fucking sharp.
Yeah.
They do. It looks like a football uniform. I don't mind the current Vikings uniforms. I love the satin helmet finish. A lot of people don't. I do. I think it looks great. And I like the Vikings uniform as a modern take, as an evolution of their uniforms. But man, those throwback uniforms do look tasty. And the Titans using the Houston Oilers uniforms.
Those look nice.
There's something we talked about swapping names. Listen, the Texans haven't done shit in 25 years.
Yeah.
Give them the fucking Oilers name. Let them wear those fucking uniforms. Let's get the fucking Houston Oilers back.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen. Sell it to them. Have it be whatever. Name your fucking price. Give Houston back the Oilers. Because, like, the Texans are fine. I like the Texans logo. I like their uniforms. It's fine. But, dude, those fucking Oilers uniforms, like, you forget just how fucking mint those things are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, it's so good looking.
Like,
so good
before
looking.
we started recording today, I had ESPN on and they were talking about, I think they did like the top 5 flashback or throwback jerseys that got announced. And they said, we'll put up the jersey, new name, who's the first player to come to mind. And as soon as I saw that, like, now again, I was born in the 80s, so I'm thinking Warren Moon. They were thinking Earl Campbell, obviously a little bit older.
I was thinking Earl Campbell because of just how historic he is to the Oilers and that look. But I also grew up in the era of Warren Moon and the Oilers and stuff like that. But I mean, that is just that Columbia blue and those helmets and the 3 stripes and the oil derrick is such a great fucking logo. It's just mwah, it's perfection. It really is.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You look at some of these older uniforms and it's like, and then you look at the uniforms of today and it's like, I understand that you're trying to be innovative and you're trying to do all this shit, but just, I mean, look at the difference. It's like, why do you go so fucking far off the rails? It's not that fucking hard.
Yeah.
Make a unique yet classic looking solid NFL uniform. It's not that fucking hard, and they make it hard on themselves, whether they just decide to let Nike do it or if they have just somebody in house who's like, let's see what look at the Seahawks uniforms. I don't mind the modern ones. They're okay. But when you put it and compare it to what they're putting out there with the throwbacks, it's like, holy shit. It's like if you just put that modern Seahawk on a silver helmet and use those same bright blue, the royal blue and bright green colors, you're done.
Yeah.
It's what a beautiful looking uniform. Instead, they pop out the stuff they have, the weird fucking triangle thing on their fucking helmets and the neon green uniforms they wear sometimes, which are fucking atrocious. Why are we trying so hard? You look at the Vikings and now have their numbers, and the one numbers have a serif that go over the other ones, and it's look how unique it is, and it's supposed to resemble the Viking ship, and it doesn't have to be that hard. Look at the Vikings throwbacks, look at the Oilers, let's look at the Jets.
Yeah,
like I go back to the 80s. Like I personally still want the Jets to take the Kelly green that they have now and apply that to their 60s and 70s uniforms, that they just got rid of.
Yeah.
With the oval and the Jets and all that kind of stuff. I think they could do that even if you modernize that logo a little bit and just had the Jets or do something like that. That would be I still like the shoulder stripes and all that and the different colored sleeves and that I like that classic look. But even looking at the Jets, it's like, look at that uniform and then look at what they wear now. And it's like, it's got a pointy thing and it's got big New York across it. And it's got, look at our pants. It's like, we wear the monochrome same pants. Like, you look like shit. It looks like you're wearing a leotard. It looks like you're wearing it looks like you're ready to go to the ballet. It's not aesthetically pleasing. It's not. I'm sorry. I think there's some people get lost in the marketing and in the designing of uniforms. It's like it's again, as somebody who is a logo enthusiast and a uniform enthusiast and design enthusiast, the old adage of keep it simple, stupid, I think still applies, where you can be unique and you can have a solid look that is your own and not add these fucking ridiculous wonky elements to uniforms.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully, maybe with some of these other throwbacks coming out and the public's reaction to them, and people being like, "Oh wow," like people are fucking camping outside to try to buy these fucking uniforms and jerseys and helmets and all the merchandise with the stuff on it. Maybe we had something and we just lost it, and they can go back to that. And I think that's the thing is if you take some of these looks and just a tweak here, a tweak there, maybe modernize it a little bit. Maybe if you want to put your own little special number font on there so that it's, this is ours and we own it, whatever. But I think if you just keep it simple and have a good looking football uniform, that's what people will identify with, and that's what people want. We'll see in a couple of years. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Tennessee, sell the fucking Oilers name. Sell it back to Houston. Give Houston back their fucking oil, Derek. Do it. What else we got?
One last thing before we go. You gonna watch the Nate Diaz Jake Paul fight or no?
I am not. I'm not going to pay for that shit. I'm not going to stream it either or try to find an illegal stream. I have no interest. That's not to say that I'm not going to sit here and shit on Jake Paul. I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, fuck him, he's a bad fighter or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Nate Diaz, because Nate Diaz could promptly fucking murder me. Clearly, Jake Paul probably could too. I'm not a fighter. Look at me. I'm fat man titties. But I don't have interest. I don't have a lot of interest in. Like, there's some things that just don't grab my interest. That I know grab yours. I know you're a big MMA guy.
Yeah.
I know you're a combat sports guy. I know you're a big NASCAR guy. You got upset too at me when I was.
Dude, I did not get upset
NASCAR
at you.
But like those are just some things like that just don't grab. I got into NASCAR about 20 years ago because I was trying to get laid by this one redneck bitch. Sorry, redneck woman. Pardon me. She did turn out to be a bitch. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that. Oh, never mind. I'm just getting myself a misogynist hole here.
This will be our only video we'll do.
I got into NASCAR, started watching NASCAR because I was trying to get laid. And I was like, oh wow, this is very interesting. Look at them, they're going fast in a circle. This is really interesting. And it really wasn't. So at the end of the day, like I can't get into NASCAR. I can't get into cricket. Like what the fuck those? Why do you have a slash in your scores? Why is it 732 over 40? Like I don't know what that fucking means. I can't do math when I'm trying to watch fucking sports. What is that shit? I don't know. So there's just some things I can't watch or get into, and I understand it as somebody who watches curling on a regular and religious basis. That I watch a sport that clearly a lot of people would not be into. I get that. But like when it comes to like MMA stuff and NASCAR, like I just, it's not my thing. If there's a big thing that comes up, like if Connor goes fight again, obviously it's a story. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Or if that thing like that happened last year in NASCAR where that motherfucker rode the wall all the way around and ended up making it into the chase, that's something to talk about. That's a worthy fucking subject to talk about. But outside of that, it's hard for me to get into that. And I know that. And I know that a lot of people who listen to you and listen to the show and listen to us like NASCAR and like MMA and combat sports and like all that stuff. And I know like I should be trying to make a concerted effort here to try to
stay up, and I do stay up with some of the news and the other things that are happening.
Yeah.
But if actually like spending my time and watching some of this stuff, I'll watch the highlights.
Yeah.
I'll go on Twitter and watch the highlights, or X, sorry, whatever it is now.
Oh yeah.
X, I'll give it to you. I'll watch that there and see what happens and grab the notes that I need to. But like that's it's not like the NFL. It's not like the NHL. It's not like playoff NBA, because I can't watch the NBA at all. But listen, even baseball, which is one of the big four sports here in North America, like I can't be bothered watching that. I can't.
Yeah.
It's not like I'll maybe watch opening. Like even this year, I didn't even watch opening day, and like maybe I'll watch the playoffs a little bit. Maybe I'll watch a little bit of the World Series, but it is hard to fucking watch baseball on television, even with the pitch clock, even with the games moving faster now. It is hard to watch fucking baseball. And I know there's a group of people out there. A lot of people still love baseball and think it's great. I, as a kid, could never get into baseball. Baseball was never my thing. I knew a lot of my cousins and a lot of friends were huge into baseball. Baseball was never my jam. I was hockey. I was football. I watched a little bit of basketball. I was still a kid when Bird and Magic were in the league, and Jordan in the late 80s, early 90s. Like so, and Charles Barkley was one of my favorites, especially when he went to Phoenix, because fuck Philadelphia. And Patrick Ewing in New York when the Knicks were actually good. I could get into that a little bit, but baseball was never my jam. Even when the Yankees were winning all those World Series, I watched them. I rooted for them. I liked them because they were New York. New York is my area, my team. I'm going to root for them. But like watching a random game in the middle of August, like that was never going to be me. It was never going to happen. Again, I'm not just picking on other sports here. I'm just saying, So am I going to watch Logan versus Diaz? No, that was basically a long answer of saying, no, I'm not going to watch it.
All right. So before we go, what I do know, I'm gonna have to take before the Logan Diaz fight, because that's the only thing with boxing. The main event don't come out till like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning.
You're always on so fucking late.
Exactly. I am going to be up on W.
You have to be.
I'm going to have to take some W to keep me focused.
You have to be focused, because as we're trying to find out now, as we're doing this video test show, we weren't very focused.
No.
We didn't know what was going on. I tried to do a couple things, didn't work. You tried to do a couple things, didn't work. We didn't have something recording. You didn't have something recording. You're like, oh, what are we going to do? I don't know. And the problem that we finally came to realize, that you mentioned so very well, we didn't have our W. I had coffee, but I didn't have W. But coffee, see, it's not that great. And why is that? Because, it wakes you up. It gives you a little caffeine jolt. Yeah, but then it gives you the jitters. And then you go ahead and you fall. You get the crash. You start all shaking like that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And that's why W's here. W doesn't give you the shakes, doesn't give you the jitters. It gives you that energy boost that you need to go ahead and focus, whether it's watching boxing, whether it's trying to put a video podcast together. Any number of those things, W is going to be there for you. Doesn't have any sugar, so it doesn't give you that big crash that you always get. And also has neurofactor, keeps the synapses there firing in the old brain, which clearly we need to, because this was a fucking clusterfuck today. But that's fine. All you need to do is go to w.gg. I'm going to tell you that right again. w.gg. Check out their entire line. They got merch. They got all the cool little cups and shakers and stuff there for you. So you go ahead and mix all that. They have all their flavors there. They even have a nice little sample pack so you can try out different flavors and see which ones you like the best. Me personally, I'm a fall guy, so I love my apple. That's going to be the Dub Sludge for me. I know you have a couple of great ones. You love the Beach and Peach still. I know it's summertime, so it's still Beach and Peach season. Yeah. You can go ahead and go there, find which one that you like. When you go to check out, little promo box there, you're going to want to put ST Sports 18. That's all capital letters, ST Sports 18. You're going to get 10% off of your order. You can't beat it, folks. It's great stuff for you. Stay energized, stay focused, and don't get the jitters and don't get a crash. With Dubby, be better.
So I think that's going to be it for us this week.
Yeah, pretty good. I'll tell you what. Considering how I wanted it to go, this didn't go the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
But we got something out of it.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can, fine tune it. I don't know why it looked like I'm playing with nipples here.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Fine tune it. We got to tune in Tokyo here. We got to fine tune it. And hopefully get a little bit better. I got to fix the aspect ratio on my camera there, so I don't have the black bars and everything like that. And I got to fix the microphone here because it is popping for me. I don't know why. But we'll
get there.
This is a good first step. I don't know if we're gonna put this out as a full video podcast, but I think I might be able to cut some clips here.
Yeah.
And put some stuff out there, and we'll go from there. But hey, it's a brand new journey, man. It's a brand new journey.
It is. And we could look back at this video 100 videos from now and see how much more better.
Looking back and say, holy shit, how the fuck did we get here?
Yeah.
So we'll see. And listen, it's one step at a time, and we'll just figure out how we go from here. But it's a good first step. I'll say that the fact that we actually got it off the ground and there wasn't a major cock up is pretty fucking amazing in my mind. So,
and if you guys are still listening, me and King both want to thank you guys for still listening through this whole rigmarole of a test video.
Thank you. We should have like an end of show club. Like if you made it all the way through our podcast, if you listen to our entire podcast, it's like you've made it into the into the 69 club or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll think of something. We're gonna make a special little thing where you guys can just go on Twitter. I'm sorry, X. And put in like a thing to let us know that you went ahead and you listened to the entire show, and we're only ever gonna say it at the end of the show, so that only the people who listen to the end know what to put. See?
Just put X.
No, don't do that. We'll come up with something clever. We'll actually do something clever. But until we actually think of something clever to do, I guess we'll see everybody next week, and they'll see us.
Yeah. And hopefully a little bit better quality and a little bit more refined tuning with this stuff.
Listen,
so
I think with each one we do from here on out, it will be just that little bit better.
Yeah.
And we'll, again, we're working with duct tape and bubble gum here. You know what I mean? Like I'm poor. I don't have the best equipment in the world. I have a computer that's 10 years old. I'm trying to work with a phone and a computer through another thing. Jimbo's trying to record my nonsense through all of this. It really is a bag of fucking tricks here. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But hey, listen, we still have that buy me a coffee, right?
Yes.
Listen, if you want to help us, if you want to help us out, help me get a new computer, help us get the better equipment that we need to do an actual video podcast with actual good quality and good equipment. You can go to that buy me a coffee. What is it? Is it ST Sports or Stay Tuned Sports?
ST Sports. So it's buymeacoffee.com/ST Sports.
There you go. All you got to do, buymeacoffee.com/ST Sports. Give us a donation. Anything will help. And we'll go ahead and hopefully get a little bit better with all this as it goes on. And again, as we get more exposed and go on YouTube, hopefully push that a little bit more, and widen our audience. We'll get more, we'll get better, and hopefully get more listeners and more viewers like you.
There you go. So till next week, this is your good friend Jimbo.
And it's your boy King.
See ya.